Hello and welcome. We are at session number 2 of the amazing Permission Movement Experience. Hi, my name is Lynn Hawkins, and I am so grateful and honored to be a part of this project and bringing you these sessions over the next 9 weeks. And it's really going to be something amazing. All of it is around writing your new story. And today, I'm going to introduce you to our fabulous host, one of the co-authors of the book, Permission to be Powerful, Ms. Cynthia Gardner O'Neill. Cynthia is the founder of the Center for Loving Consciousness, and she's also founder of Harmonics, Harmonizing Your Life and Your Business. She's one of the co-authors in the Permission to be Powerful book, and she tells in such an amazing way her story, as do all of us co-authors who you're going to meet over the next 9 weeks. So, Cynthia, hi! Thanks
Hey,
for
Lynn.
joining us.
Well, thanks for having me here, and I'm really, excited to be here to interview you, which is something new for me. And so thanks for giving me the opportunity, since we also are going to be sharing in a new WebTV show starting this coming Thursday on January 8th at 8 Eastern on the adventures of the heart, building wisdom through experience. But that's, not what we're here today for. We're here today for the crowdfunding experience and, creating create your most compelling story. And so it's given me an opportunity to interview you, Lynn. And so, I'm going to tell everybody about you right now. So this is Lynn Hawkins, and she is a biz mentor, strategy development muse. She's the host of the Biz Info Zone web TV show, and she's the founder of the P3 Academy of Social Entrepreneurship and creator of the Permission Guide Empowerment books. And the first book is Permission to be Powerful. This is the 20 women entrepreneurs' heroes' journey from pain to powerful. And I'm excited to be a part of all that. And it supports a socially conscious nonprofit program for women and girls called the Permission to Win Outreach Empowerment Project. Lynn helps heart-centered and purpose-driven entrepreneurs do bigger business so that they can make a difference in the world. Now, Lynn, can you tell us a little bit about that, since we're also talking about crowdfunding, and I know it has a lot to do with supporting this project, and then we'll get into a little bit about the what we're talking about today. So that'll kind of let us know what this project is all about and how the crowdfunding is being brought in and why you're having this show on using crowdfunding.
Thank you for that great introduction. And I mean, you've talked about all of the things that are the heart work that I'm currently doing. And I'm just so excited because the book project was a gifted download to me. And it has evolved into being not just a book containing the Shiro's Journey stories of 20 women entrepreneurs, but it's contained an opportunity for us to, in our stories, share at least one tip, strategy, tool that we used along our journey that actually helped us. And what this is doing is allowing us an opportunity to take the book and to pull certain aspects of each chapter out into a study guide. And that study guide will be accompanied by a leader guide, and these books will be provided to small groups of girls and women who can learn these stories and learn these tools and have these tools, especially the things that they would not have known about as part of their success toolbox. And you and I have had this conversation about, wow, what would life have been if at age 18 or 20 or 26 I had some of the tools that some of these women, these amazing women in this book talk about, that have provided them and propelled them so far and so deeply into their own hearts that they really desired to be a part of this project and to be a part of the added project of the literacy and outreach project. And I'm just blessed to think that it was gifted to me, and I'm taking this mission very seriously about bringing it to the world. And again, there women like you and the other co-authors that have joined me in this are just having so many wonderful things open up. And one of the things for the project that we're doing is crowdfunding, so that we can provide these books, the study guides, as well as the leader guides, to small groups who wouldn't otherwise be able to have these at their fingertips. And it's important to me because I raised a daughter. I'm helping to raise my grandson now, and I think about the single parents out there. I was a single parent for all of my kids' lives. I say all of my kids' lives. I was with their father for over 7 years, but were we ever together? And that, I realize, left me in the place of being a single parent for all of my kids' lives. And one of the things that is part of my story and part of my journey is the conversation that I have around having lost my adult son at the age 33, husband, father of 2 young boys, and look up one day and life is just grand, and the next day it's like it all came tumbling down, like the set of dominoes that all you do is tap the first one and the rest just happens. That's how I felt like my life was at that point in time in 2012. What could I do? How was I supposed to react? And this gift of the book and the book project had been given to me prior to that. And what I learned from my son in his life and in his death was that there's more to life. It is the heart that we have to leave a legacy, to live a legacy. And that is why I am doing what I'm doing right now. It's to build a living legacy so that my grandsons can see that the world is bigger than just the me that I may choose to be in a short period of time, but that I can contribute something that has the potential to impact so many lives, so many girls, so many women. And the list of girls and women that we've chosen to begin with are girls who are aging out of the foster care system, who are looking at, what's my next move? Can I go to college? What's that going to cost me? And if you know any of the statistics, you know that many of these girls end up homeless because they don't have the tools in their toolbox, their life skills toolbox, in order to really propel themselves, really to decide at this point in time that they will be successful, and not to allow the influences around them to take them down roads that they might have to, climb out of the ditch, or, really seek some serious help. We're going to girls who are coming out of juvenile detention, who are looking at, if I have to go back into that same home situation, or, something worse, what are my other options? What else can I do? They're searching for answers. We're addressing women who are coming back into society, transitioning back into society from being incarcerated. whether for a short period of time or a long period of time, and they're faced with the same things. You know, what do I do if I have to go back to the social environment that I came out of that led me to drugs and other things, and that actually were the reason I was incarcerated? Or, get this, they end up going to a halfway house. And what does that do for someone's confidence? I'm living in a halfway house, rebuilding my life, and what's next? And a halfway house may be an excellent place to start, but how often do women return to the lives that they left upon being in the environment of a halfway house? Statistics are astounding, and I won't quote them for you today because we're actually going to talk about crowdfunding, which is one of the ways that we intend to raise the funds to cover the costs of publishing these books. And one of the things that these women and girls are going to be gifted with is, upon completion of the project, the literacy project, reading the book, going through the program to complete the study guide, they will get not only a certificate of completion of the project, they will get an opportunity to write their own story and potentially become a published author. So can you imagine what this might do to inspire these girls and women to really make something better out of their lives? And the biggest thing is because they see others. They've read the stories. We intend to connect with some of these groups on a more personal basis. With the virtual environment that we're in now, we can talk to someone in another part of the world with such ease and grace. And we intend to do just that to help these young girls and women to understand that coming back into the gift of the rest of their lives, they have different choices that they can make now. And I think that you can tell, Cynthia, from how expressive I am on this subject, about how much of my heart is actually being poured into this opportunity and the crowdfunding opportunity that surrounds it for the accomplishment of this project.
Yeah, well, Lynn, your heart tells a story. So
Yes.
you are speaking from your heart. And this is what, really drives our business, what motivates us to do a business. And you found that heart space, that place that your compassion, your kindness, your worth to this world, your service. And I just feel you. And your story that you just shared, just touched my heart. And that's what you're here to share with other people, on how when they have that heartfelt story, that experience, that how they want to help others, and how they can use that story to raise funds to get more of them and their movement, or their, what their service is and how they want to make a difference in the world out there. And that in itself, not only are you helping, other people to come in to provide this service along with you, but you're also, from what you're doing, you're expanding out to help others do their heart's desire to the world. So it is amazing to me. So I'm so looking forward to learning more about what crowdfunding is. Can you share what that really is and what that means to you?
I would love to, and what a great question. I get that on occasion, but what I realize is that we've, in our own essence, defined what we think crowdfunding is, because one of my friends who's an expert has actually said, crowdfunding is. It is more than a process. It is having your heart infused into an idea that then can get built up into something tangible that benefits others. And while that is a lay-term definition, you know what crowdfunding is? It's the opportunity for you and me to support someone's idea, someone's plan, program, project, to help others. And I don't necessarily have to do anything outside of giving that support. And, we can give that support in a few ways. It doesn't always have to be monetarily. We can give that kind of support in participating, helping to spread the word, spread the message, in participating to help the project. There's a lot of the behind the scenes things that go on in a crowdfunding project that one person, for one person, it's a lot. For one person, it takes quite a bit of time. And for one person, it takes more than the committed effort. So when you have more people in it to help you, you actually not only can reach farther in order to bring more in, but you can reach farther with more ease. And that's what heart is all about. God didn't create us, and I talk about God. God is who I identify with. I speak a lot about universe and the universal laws. Those are very key to a lot of the work that I do, a lot of the work that you do. And I speak about source and source energy. And one of the things that I have come to clearly and profoundly understand is that it is about the energy. It is about the energy of love that brings about the support that as that goes out, it also allows what is to come in to come in. And I've taken the whole crowdfunding idea to another level, but that is truly what crowdfunding is about and is to me, and how I contribute to it.
I love, I'm going to interject here because I love how you're bringing heart into the crowdfunding. Because really, I teach harmonics, as you know, and the Center for Loving Consciousness. And the reason why I do that is because to help people realize how powerful love is to motivating not only yourself to give of your services, but to receive back from others and to inspire others to want to join you. Because what they're doing is they're resonating. They're in that harmonic, okay, or harmonic resonance with your purpose, with your heart's desire, with what you want to, see in the world. So I totally get all that you're saying, and I really love what you're sharing here. So yeah, continue on with. I'm just really loving this right now. So
well, and crowdfunding is not a new concept. Just like social entrepreneurship is not a new concept. Crowdfunding has happened for, centuries. Crowdfunding has been someone in the community seeing a need and going out into the community and engaging to either bring in the funds that we also call capital in to solve that problem, or they bring in the physical help. A great example of crowdfunding that has been happening for, 50 years now is the Habitat for Humanity project. They've gone out and they've inquired, they've solicited, and people hear the word solicit and they think a bad thing. Solicit is just the asking for what it is that you desire to have. And they've asked for the funds to help build homes for underserved residents in communities. And along with that, they teach finances. They teach people what a mortgage is and how to maintain the house that they've built for them. And these people get brand new homes. They teach them about saving and reserves so that, you know, when it comes time to buy a new washing machine, you have the funds in order to do that. They teach people. Habitat for Humanity is not just, you know, this group of corporate employees who are contributing the manpower to build this house. It's so much bigger than that. I
Now,
use that because that's an example that most people can really relate to.
now, would you say that that has to do with socialpreneurship? And with me saying that, what does socialpreneurship mean to you? So we can help others out there understand what that's about.
Oh my, Cynthia, that's a wonderful question, and not one that I get too often. I know I have the definition as Wikipedia mentions it on my website, and it states that it is the small business enterprise that contributes to addressing the needs of a community. And there are so many ways that that happens. Habitat for Humanity being one of them. Another really great example that I like to use, which is really a bigger example of social enterprise and socialpreneurship, is Tom's Shoes. When I first heard about Tom's Shoes, I did what most people did, and I Googled them, and I saw what they were doing in providing shoes to kids in third world countries. And I asked the question, wow, what brought this person to this opportunity that they saw to fill a need, to actually address an issue that was out there? And as it turns out, one of the co-founders was a participant in, what was it, Lost or Survivor? I can't remember which, although
Survivor.
Survivor.
Yep.
Their participation took them to an island where they were able to mix and mingle with the indigenous people, with the local people there. And they saw that there was some sickness and there was a mortality issue amongst the kids. And they were told that it was because they were running around barefoot, and the parasites in the water, the just the running around in the dirt, not getting their feet cleaned, was the major contributor. And this guy said, well, I want to help put shoes on their feet. And that's why he went back home and was on a mission to do this, started a nonprofit organization. And my take was, this is a great cause. I'd love to support them and send them some money, right? Isn't that how we think initially? And it grew from there, because not only did Tom's Shoes look at being in a certain predicament of not raising sufficient funds in order to meet their goals, they decided that they would see what else might be open to them. And in doing so, they said, you know what, we can make shoes for everyone else to buy, and with every pair of shoes that someone buys, we can give away a pair of shoes. That will help to fund our nonprofit. So they started a for-profit business, and that for-profit business then gave them the ability to fund their nonprofit and do more of the putting on shoes on these kids' feet that they intended initially. And they've also evolved. And you'll hear me talk a lot about the whole evolution process and the emergence. There is a law of the universe called the law of emergence, and it is that all things emerge, because it's something that you say and say so eloquently. Everything in life seeks to live, and we as human beings seek to live, to grow, and it is when we are not doing that that we allow discomfort and dis-ease to be our excuse to not do so many things. And then there are so many of us who say, you know, all of that aside, I can't even think about all of that. I just want to do these things. And whether it's supporting in dollars and cents, it's supporting in spreading the word, or it's supporting in hands-on involvement, we are key to helping these organizations and organizations like the Permission Movement and the Permission Movement Experience and others that you'll hear over the course of time that the P3 Academy is actually going to be working with. But the key to it all is that what social enterprise and socialpreneurship is all about is taking an aspect of certain piece of what it is that you're doing that can go to and focus on a greater, most important cause. And there are a number of ways that that can be done too. Suppose you have a favorite nonprofit organization. I'll take the Alzheimer's organization, or, you know, MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and you were to just have an alignment with them to let your world know that that is a cause that you are supporting, and put a link on your website that actually allows people that are in your circle of influence, in your sphere of influence, to say, oh my, this is a cause that I'm also in alignment with. I'm going to do business with this business because they're supporting this cause. That is how things were done and have been done for hundreds of years, actually. It didn't start yesterday, and it's not going to end tomorrow, because what we've done with, again, being in this virtual world is allowed ourselves to be able to participate in so much more. Now, for instance, the P3 Academy of Social Entrepreneurship teaches people how they can take their existing business and make that kind of an alignment with a nonprofit organization that they support. And by support, again, just even having the ability for people who work with you to see that you're aligned with them because of an icon on your website might just be all that you can do right now. And as your business grows, as your business continues to grow, maybe that grows into a monetary contribution or some other contribution. Maybe the way that you can show your alignment a little beyond just having this icon on your website is to keep plugged into this organization's calendar and to share that information in your monthly newsletter that goes out to your clients and customers. Because one of the things that I have come to understand and know is that social enterprise is an energy that is 2 degrees of separation. Whatever you may be connected to and aligned with that helps address a social cause, there is someone that you are doing business with that either is connected to that cause somehow, desires to be connected to that cause, or knows someone. And I say know someone, they typically know someone directly. I see 2 degrees of separation. So even if it goes 3 or 4, as you are communicating about your business and the work that you do, and having the ability to show your alignment with this nonprofit organization in your communications, someone sees that. And I know that you know that it just takes one person to be connected with you that could change everything. Be your biggest contract, be your biggest customer or client, or connect you with that biggest thing.
Yes. And I'd like to add, because yes, the love of one person can change the lives of many. And that's what you are
Yes.
doing. And, such as Mother Teresa
Yes.
with her projects, and also the woman who, and I'm forgetting her name, who started the Red Cross. These are, what we're all about here. So, what you're asking of everybody is, what can you do? What can you do for your favorite nonprofit or to make a difference in the world? Whether it's you starting something new or you contributing to it, you're showing people how to do that. So the one thing that we can do, and one thing that we are here for, is the crowdfunding. And I know people want to learn more about that. So let's go right into that now, because boy, you gave so much information there, and I want to know more of how I can help, my project, the Center for Loving Consciousness, how I can continue to help the permission, movement, to raise those funds and everything. How do we do that?
Well, it's about educating yourself. Illumination through education. I've just learned so much from you, Cynthia, and I thank you for that. Those are beautiful words that explain how do you do that. And in that education, you will learn. There are a number of crowdfunding platforms that you can get into. You can set up your project, but it all starts the same place, and that's the idea and then the strategy. If you have the idea, then you can vision into the strategy of how to develop it into what it needs to be to become a viable crowdfunding project. There are a lot of people who say, I've got an idea, I've brought it to this point, I'm very clear about what it is that I'm doing, that I desire to have, and yet there's no strategy written out, no plan. And that means that you go back to the drawing board, because the most successful crowdfunding campaigns have been drawn out in a strategy that actually takes you from A to Z in accomplishing your goals. Now, one of the things that I like to introduce people to is an opportunity that I've aligned with that is one of the best educational models for the crowdfunding process, and it's the crowdfunding incubator through Reality Crowd TV. And you can find out more information on my website at p3academy.com. But the Reality Crowd TV crowdfunding platform is actually an incubator where you can find not just the resources and guidance, but the help to build from the point of idea through the plan and the strategy and the campaign, because this is the process. You've got the idea that then gets put into a plan. If it's an invention, then you've got a strategy about how to get from idea to prototype, and from prototype to manufacturing. And you really need to think that out first, because how else will you know what kind of funding you need? And the same thing about, we've talked about the Center for Loving Consciousness, and there are a number of people who I've had questions from. How can I get my healing center funded? Or what stage must I be in order to go to a crowdfunding campaign to bring funds in, to bring capital funds in to support my healing center? And all of those questions get answered through this incubator process that goes from, once again, idea. And we examine, what is your idea? What is your plan? And then what is your strategy? Because now that you've got a plan, you can actually say, this first piece of the plan I need to do on my own. And maybe I'll go out to friends and family. That's my crowdfunding campaign initially. I'll go out to friends and family because I only need $1,000 in order to get this done. Or I only need $2,500 to get this piece done. And maybe that first piece is even forming your LLC And if you'd like to have a nonprofit organization actually completing all of the paperwork for your nonprofit organization, and it covers the cost of that because you realize that that is necessary in order for you to get to the next stage. Or suppose it's a book like ours, it's a book project. We've aligned with a nonprofit organization, which is one of the ways that we're able to give in return for a charitable contribution. We're able to give those contributors a receipt that says that your charitable contribution is a tax-deductible contribution. And that's because we've aligned with a nonprofit organization that some of the funding that we get can actually be treated like that. There are other things that we've elected to do we've got expenses. Those expenses cannot be categorized as part of the charitable contribution because maybe those expenses are social media management and maybe it's website cost. And that is actually not part of for our book, the publication costs. So it's not part of the charitable side of our crowdfunding campaign. So we've actually got an opportunity to do crowdfunding on a couple of levels. One, as a contribution to assist us in getting this publication done on the lower level, and then contribute to get the nonprofit involved. And I have to tell you that that's really part of the excitement for me. When we aligned with this nonprofit organization, and this nonprofit is actually a nonprofit that supports kids, and they are actually a child advocacy group, and they will do the accounting side for us. So how does it work? Why do they need to do the accounting? What's up with that? Well, our alignment with this nonprofit puts us in a position to ask for funds to support our project. In asking for those funds, because we're a for-profit organization and we have for-profit businesses, aligning with this nonprofit organization allows us to say, funding contributor, fund our project through this nonprofit organization. They retain a fee for doing the receiving of the funds and the accounting for tax purposes, and less their fee, they send to us the balance of the funds. So say we're talking $10,000. This funding source gives us $10,000. They send it to the nonprofit organization. They take 10% is a reasonable fee. They take their 10% and they keep $1,000 and they send to us $9,000 that we can then use to support our project. And the donor, the funding donor who gave us the $10,000, who contributed $10,000, actually gets a receipt for a charitable contribution of $10,000. And they can write it off on their taxes. So whether a contribution to this is, $1,000, $100, or $10, if it's given for the benefit of a charitable contribution to fund the nonprofit piece of what we're doing, that's how it's treated. If it's given in a way that funds the for-profit piece, then that contribution is a contribution that we can receive, but it is just not treated as a tax-deductible contribution. And in crowdfunding, you can actually do both. So, is it a bigger perk for someone to say, whatever your contribution is, you can get a tax-deductible receipt that allows you to take that $10 or $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 and use that as a taxable write-off? Yeah, that's a great added perk. Is it necessary for crowdfunding? No, it isn't. That's the beauty of crowdfunding too. I mentioned you could go to a group of friends and family to fund a certain dollar amount, but you will only know what that is when you've gone through the initial stages of this process, which again starts with the idea, rolls into the plan. What's your plan for developing that idea to total and complete fruition, and then strategizing how to implement a crowdfunding campaign around it, whether it's going to be for a latter stage thing or a former stage thing. You need the plan first in order to get to that second part. And then it's about setting up the crowdfunding platform, about how you're going to market that information, how you're going to disseminate it out through the world so that your contributions can come in to meet your needs. And the Reality Crowd TV platform is a beautiful place, one of the best places that I have seen so far to launch your idea through the 9 stages. And one of the things too that I get asked the question about quite often is, well, Lynn, how long is this typically? I only have 30 days or I only have 60 days. Well, to give yourself the best advantage, and one of the things that we do teach in the Reality Crowd TV platform is that you want to allow yourself no less than 3 months. And it typically, the most successful campaigns take 6 months. But then again, it depends on a couple of things. How much money you're going out for, what kind of money you're seeking, so that, again, it's like knowing your niche, knowing who do you go out to in order to make this request of, because you mentioned it, Cynthia, they're the ones that have to resonate with your message. And in that resonation, they are agreeable to helping to support you.
Okay, I have a question with all that. So, all right, so you're saying in here that we don't need, as a business, let's say a business, or let's say a filmmaker, okay, wants to make a documentary, and they need to raise some money for their film. Okay, they're not a 501c3, yet they may want to start a movement with that film or something like that. What do you suggest for something like that? And this would be even a business, because you were kind of saying in there you don't need to be a 501c. You can align with one, or you don't need one at all, or I just need a little clarity on that, because you've given so much information and it's awesome, and I'm wanting to know more. So bring it on.
Okay. And you're right. Everything that you said was correct. You don't need to be a 501c3 unless you would like your contributors to donate and get a tax-deductible write-off for their donation. And, typically you're looking at the higher levels of funding contribution in order for that to kick in and really be meaningful. If I'm giving $1,000 away to someone, it means a lot to me to be able to have that as a tax-deductible contribution, because at the end of the year, when I'm looking at my, whether it's $60,000 or $160,000 or $260,000 in income, I would love to use that $1,000 or that $10,000 contribution that was donated to reduce my taxable income and allow me to pay less taxes on dollars that I was able to bring into my business. And the offset there is the true value of that was your contribution of this $1,000 or this $10,000 to an organization that will benefit from it. And again, you don't have to be a 501c3 in order to receive the funds that can be contributed as tax-deductible contributions. But you do have to be aligned with a nonprofit organization who will receive the funds for you do their diligence by doing the accounting for the IRS and take their piece and give you the rest. So again, $10,000 might really amount to $9,000 in income for your project because you're not a 501c3, but you've been able to align with one, and there's some cost there. And
Okay.
that's very helpful for the for-profit business that really, examining the advantages of being a nonprofit or having their own nonprofit just is not worth it. And I say not worth it, I mean not worth, you're now running two businesses. Why run two businesses if you don't have to? And that's the advantage of remaining a for-profit business, aligning with a nonprofit, and bringing in the charitable contributions in that manner.
Wow.
The flip side,
Mm-hmm.
remaining a for-profit business, not aligning with a nonprofit, any funding that you bring in, it just doesn't get recognized as a tax-deductible contribution.
Okay, so you could do crowdfunding, without the tax-deductible contribution.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
And the
Well,
example that you brought up was excellent. The film to make a documentary, that is one of the things that I am really excited to get more into, because there's so many documentaries and even short feature films that have been getting funding in this manner that has helped them to go to the the Indie Film Awards because they were nominated, to go to even some films have gone to Cannes. So that's a huge place where crowdfunding is able to assist. But again, it starts with the plan. What's your documentary? Who do you serve? Who's the audience that's going to resonate with your message? And who are you speaking to that you want to look at your project and fund? So all of that is part of the plan development, and then you get to the stage of, okay, where do I go? What platform is best for me? And then you go to the stage of developing what's necessary in the platform and then marketing out from there.
okay, Lynn, here's another question for you. So, I want to know more about crowdfunding for this project that you're doing with the permission movement. And I want to know how you can help me or others, such as filmmakers, such as businesses, for their crowdfunding. I know you have some offers with your business, the P3 Academy, that you can help people with this.
Yes,
So can
I'm
you tell us about that? I know you have a special offer with that too and everything. And man, right now, I just want to take in everything that you are of service to, because we need people like you. I'm so happy that you have this opportunity to share about this subject of crowdfunding, because it's showing me the depth in which your heart is going and the service that you have and you provide to this world, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. So yeah, give me more.
Wow. I think everything revolves around recognizing that it is your compelling story that is the guide and the driver of your crowdfunding campaign. It is your compelling story that energizes your whole idea, and what brings people to understanding how, not just how committed you are, but how important your project is to the world. And that's what we're doing with the Permission Movement. The Permission to Be Powerful book is a book that was written by 20 amazing women entrepreneurs who, I can't say didn't have the best of lives. We come from all from the full gamut. You've got some that have just had some lives that make you say, oh my God. And then there are some that have said, you know, I had a beautiful upbringing, yet what I learned along the way, what I learned in my Shiro's journey was, and what they're telling is, you know, this one tool or strategy that they use that is what is compelling. That's the beyond the thinking about this book. It's just, you know, if without this, it would just be another book. It would just be another book of inspirational stories that women business owners wrote for women business owners. Yet, with taking it to the next level, it provides us the opportunity to address a social cause. And the social causes right now that we've identified with some of these girls and women's groups that we want to bring this project to, I know resonates with others. I know that there are women who are the women that we're talking about, women coming out of the military, that they're looking at the world now and saying, oh my God, you know, when I went in the military 5 or 6 or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it was totally different than what I'm seeing out here today. One of the biggest reasons because technology has changed. And, you know, these young girls in the juvenile detention arena, have they been exposed to technology the way that had they remained in school, they would have been? Have they, I mean, you know, there are so many healers who are part of our group, and what many of us talk about in our Shiro's journey is the healing, the forgiveness, the relationships that we've been able to go back and mend, and that is creating the compelling stories. We've taken these stories and we've put them in this book, and this book serves to meet a higher causal purpose. And the strategy has been built as to how we can do that. We're going to be using the crowdfunding platform to, as I mentioned, fund the printing and publication of the books, the study guides, and the leader guides. And you know, our goal is to, our desire is to have these groups to get these tools, these books, and not to have to pay for them. Unless, of course, you know, there are groups that can. And then we'd be asking for them to pay for shipping and handling. One of the things that we recognize is that the strategy of involving others is in having some incentive as well. That's what the crowdfunding platform allows. You know, as someone contributes, there's incentive for them contributing. The lower dollar amounts, of course, are lower incentive. The higher dollar amounts are extremely higher incentives. When you have a nonprofit or a nonprofit organization involved with you, there's some incentive around giving higher numbers of dollars and having them to be taxable deductions. And so what I offer is a complimentary confidential strategy session. I talk to you about your idea, your invention, the thing that you think you can take to a crowdfunding campaign, and I actually go through a discovery type of strategy session with you, so that you know exactly what stage of the 9 stages you're at, whether getting involved in the incubator will be of value to you, whether, you know, and honestly, from my heart, I give it to you honestly. Where are you? Whether you need the incubator or you need something else, that's what I see my purpose is to bring to you. And that's what I do. So I'm offering a 40-minute complimentary strategy session that will allow you the opportunity to complete a questionnaire. And in completing that questionnaire, both you and I will have the advantage of knowing pretty quickly where you are, what stage you're at, and I can assess and be able to advise you accordingly.
Yeah. Also, along with all this that you've shared with us and what you can, how you're being of service and helping others to get into the crowdfunding and make this, have the strategies to help your business, to help your socialpreneurship to the world. I know in the next 9 weeks that you have a lot of people who are contributing. What kind of, can you share just a little bit about who's going to be contributing and what people can expect to watch your project and how you're, because I really find that this is a foundation to help other people do the same.
Yes.
So can you share what's going on in the next 9 weeks?
Thank you.
And I'll also assist in helping you with who you have supporting the project. And also, I've had a few people in the chat or comment and ask me, what is my name? I'm Cynthia Gardner O'Neill, and I'm with the Center for Loving Consciousness. I'm a co-author with the Permission to Be Powerful project here with Lynn Hawkins. And the reason why you don't see me or see my name up there is my main computer went down yesterday afternoon, and so I am on a computer that doesn't allow me to put that information up. So we're still continuing on, and I want you all to know that you can always just figure out what you can do, and that's what this project is about, because even when we hit the challenges of life, we like to give you strategies on what you can do, and Lynn is the best. Be Lynn Hawkins here. You know, she's the best at having you spread your wings and fly and soar. You know, and that's why she's here sharing with us about crowdfunding and how you can get your projects going. And so our project that we have coming up is going to deal with 9 weeks of service. And so go ahead and share with us, Lynn.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. It's so exciting. This session today is actually the second session in the Permission Movement experience. It's this 9 weeks with 9 celebrity guests and almost all of the amazing co-authors of the book Permission to Be Powerful, as we teach and train and share on the subject: write a new story, live your best life, have your powerful business. And you know, it's all about the experiences. Our stories are our experiences. You can find out more by going to our website at permissionexperience.org. That's Permission Experience, all one word, .org. And the first 3 sessions of the Permission Experience we're actually offering out to you at no cost, so that you can see what it is that we are intending throughout the remainder of the 8 weeks to follow. We've made a very, we've really put our heart and intention into allowing this to be an opportunity that takes cost out of being a barrier to. We want you to know that while you are your story, all of our story is past unless we're writing our future. And we want you to know that for every ticket that is purchased to the Permission Movement experience, a complete digital package of all of the 9 weeks of sessions will be gifted to a nonprofit organization that supports women and girls. They will get it absolutely free. And if you have a nonprofit organization that you would like one of these packages to be gifted to, I would love to make that happen for you. So all you have to do is email me with your information. We'll get in touch and make that happen for you. You can email me at lynn@p3academy.com. That's lynn@p3academy.com. And I want you to know that as we are moving forward with the Permission Movement experience and sharing these trainings, we're going to be crafting and helping you to craft your new story, because one of the people I am so excited about hosting in the Permission Movement experience is a gentleman named David Bullock. We call him the Profit Engineer. He's called the Profit Engineer because he actually works with Fortune 500 companies to help them to examine their social and engagement strategies in order to increase those engagements and thus increase their income. He's going to bring us the benefit of something that he has created called story leverage. You're going to learn what story leverage is and why it's important. And we're doing this. This is the third session of the Permission Movement Experience sessions that we'll be offering. It's going to be the last of the free sessions, and we want you to join us because we've got so much more. David is going to open the door to what Cynthia and I have done for the last couple of days, actually, in building your awareness about what we're offering here in the Permission Movement Experience. And I'm going to tell you a little more about some of the others who are going to be joining us. Gina Gaudio-Graves is going to be with us to talk about the vortex model of doing business, how your story fits. In business, what we've realized is that in business and in life, being in the vortex, and Cynthia and I both are big Abraham Hicks fans, and Abraham talks about being in the vortex. When I'm in the vortex, I see what's happening outside of me, but I know that I am in the space of calm and serenity and clarity and action, inspired action. And that's part of what the Permission Movement Experience is about too. It's bringing you into our vortex, and Gina is going to be teaching you the vortex model of doing business and how your story fits. We're going to be doing more about the whole crowdfunding thing. We're going to be talking with Natalie Ledwell. Natalie is actually writing the foreword to the book Permission to be Powerful, and she's going to be talking to our audience about your story and the 7 secrets of happiness. She's actually doing so much right now through the Inspiration Show, and she's about to host a new show on a network, a live network, that is just going to be amazing. And I want her to tell you about that too, because it all ties into her story. We're going to have Chief Robert and Terry Talltree that Cynthia spoke about earlier, in your story and the 3 arrows of power. We're going to have
Matt Pearlstein.
Yes.
Emotional intelligence. Now, you know, the reason why I brought up, you know, the information about the filmmakers is how I met Matt Pearlstein, who is really, emotional intelligence is huge, EQ. And it is about helping people with bullying and the education system and making a better world, and using our emotions in a way that supports us rather than hurts us. And the filmmakers, the Mendocino Film Production Company, is a great company that is doing some amazing documentaries. And so through Matt Pearlstein coming into my view with EQ, I have also had the opportunity to connect up with the Mendocino Film Productions Company and working with them and helping create some beautiful documentaries. And we also wanted to learn how to raise money to get these incredible documentaries to support these kind of wonderful
enlightenment. Yeah.
Enlightenment to change the world. Yeah. So that's why, you know, Matt Pearlstein, he's going to be great to have on here to, you know, a lot to teach about those kind of things. And also, gosh, and who else were you just going to bring up? There's
Jack Humphrey.
Jack Humphrey. Yes.
Yeah, with the amazing traffic vortex and sharing your story, because we all know that, you know, at one point in time we were really concerned about how do I get traffic to my website? How do I get traffic to this permission movement experience so that people will not just want to be involved, but buy so that others can get the advantage of this as well. Well, Jack is going to be teaching on the amazing traffic vortex, which is what Cynthia was just talking about. How do you get your crowdfunding project out there and known and seen? We're actually going to have Gail Watson, who is the co-founder and president of Women Speakers Association, to join us and share about Speak Your Story and help heal the world. We're going to have Kimberly Burnham, who's a PhD, who was diagnosed to be clinically blind. She was told by her eye doctor to go home and prepare for being blind the rest of her life. And she decided, you know, her story is that she decided, no, that is not happening to me. And she found some holistic means of correcting her vision so that she now only has 20/20 vision. She's done a bike ride. I'm talking about a bicycle bike ride across the country in support of her newfound greatness and her power in going from being told she was going to be blind to being sighted and seeing better than some of us who are sighted. Oh my gosh. And we're going to also have Dr. Monica Ogando to join us, who is business partners with David Bullock. And she has such a wonderful perspective of story that she's going to share with us. But you know, Cynthia, all of this revolves around the simple aspect of learning how to get to be to in this earthly plane. And that is truly my heart's desire in bringing all of this to you. We've got so many more wonderful things. We're going to have panel discussions. We're going to talk about, you know, Yvonne Gurney is going to be sharing about unleashing your charisma for a powerful story. Aileen Boundy is going to be talking about change your story by aligning with your purpose. And it's just going to be so much over the next 9 weeks, 8.5 weeks, that we want to bring to our audience. And one of the things that we decided we would do was gift the first 3 sessions of the Permission Movement experience so that you would really get an idea about what it is that's coming and participate in it with us so that you can not only get the benefit of learning how to write your new story, but you will learn about giving yourself permission to be the new story that you write.
Beautiful. Wow. This is absolutely wonderful. I am excited about being a part of this. You know, Lynn and I did a show yesterday about our own stories, about how our heart and the love of humanity is what brought us to this point today to be here to share this information with you. And I'm really excited to have the opportunity to interview Lynn here today, and that she gave me that opportunity to participate. And that's one thing that we're asking for all of you, you know, is your participation and you receiving the gifts that we're giving, because if we don't have you to give to, where are we? You know, it's the same thing with all of us. You know, if you have a service that you want to give, you know, it's about you aligning with someone who is out there, who's wanting or choosing to receive your gift, that you resonate with them, that you're in alignment and in harmonics with them, with their heart. Their heart is loving what you're doing, and you're loving them for being who they are. That we have that inner exchange with one another. That's community. That's community. That's the unity of the oneness that we want to bring everybody together in. And whatever it is that you decide to do to make a difference in this world, we want to support it. And the only way we can show you how to do it is that we are doing it. So what I'm learning, I teach best. What I'm healing inside myself, I heal in others. And
Yeah.
I know, Lynn, the reason why we're together is that very thing.
Yes. Yes. That was so beautifully said, Cynthia, and such a beautiful close for our session today. My name is Lynn Hawkins. I'm just so blessed to have had Cynthia Gardner O'Neill host and interview me today, which, as being host of an interview show, you don't quite get often enough. But this has really been great. You asked some amazing questions, and I'm grateful to you and to our audience for showing up today.
And I just want to end, breathe deep into your heart and love yourself more today than you did yesterday.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and please help spread the word. We'd love to see you here in the Permission Movement experience and sharing the experience with others so that even more can benefit with some of the nonprofit organizations who will be gifted the digital packages. So thanks again for joining us. Have a fabulous rest of the day. Bye for now.
Bye.